Hello from snowy Saskatchewan. It's a really great April Fool's joke today because instead of April showers bring May flowers, we've got April snow showers today. Here's the card we're going to do today. This is using 3 different stamp sets: Butterfly Gala, Floral Essence, and Very Versailles. So I made this card originally just as a hello card. Then I made some more as a sympathy card using sending prayers. But if we wanted to do it for a birthday, we'll brighten it up a little bit. Instead of just having a white center, we're going to make it a yellow center, and it just makes it quite a bit different. So let's proceed. It also uses 3 punches. So we're using the sprig punch, we're using the leaf punch, we're using this punch that goes along with the Floral Essence set. So this Floral Essence set uses the flower. Whoops, I should switch them around for you. The flower uses this punch, and the leaf uses our leaf punch. Then the center, I used this 1/2-inch punch. It leaves a little bit of a white edge, but so do the other punches, so it does not look out of place. I do want to remind you, when you are punching out your images, stamp them first and then punch them out. If you're trying to do it any other way, it will be very difficult. And when you're punching, be sure to do it this way instead of that way. Like punch, you can get them all stamped and then you can just go along and punch them all out, and it's very easy to punch them that way. So a technique I used for this card is I stamped it in a color, in this case cherry cobbler. The leaves are in mossy meadow and the center in daffodil delight. And then I added the dazzling diamonds to the center. So after I stamped this flower, what I did is I did not pick up any color from the ink pad or any other color. I just used our aqua pen and watch the magic. Now this was stamped quite a long time ago, so it's very forgiving on how long you can wait to shade this in. So it's a very quick technique because you don't have to color and then shade. You don't have to get any other ink ready and have it mixed up have it ready in your ink on your block with the re-inker. You just go along and smooth some of that out. So that's pretty simple, isn't it? So that one is not quite as colorful as this one that I did immediately after it was inked up and stamped. So I did the same thing with this flower. You can just go along and decide what you want to shade and how much of it you want to shade. It's kind of a nice technique, I think. If you leave it for drying for quite some time, you might have to pick up more color from your ink pad. But I've been quite happy using this technique. It's a nice, fast one. And when I'm in a hurry to make a quick card, this is one of the techniques I often go to. The water pens, if you don't have one, you get 2 in a pack each from Stampin' Up. I always keep one of my water pans loaded with alcohol in case I need to spread some alcohol around in my life. On the cardstock, guys, on the cardstock. And then I have this one full of water. So look how easy this is. And if you don't have one, you can use a paintbrush and just dip it in water. This is nice because it's got the water in it and it comes out at a nice rate. If it's too much, you can dab it off on a paper towel. So this is a very easy technique. Okay, there we are. If I want to do a little more, I can, because I can draw that color in from wherever there's a bit of image stamped, be it the edges or the center. You see how that works? It's just really cool. So just finish that up there. Clean my brush is easy. And then I can set this inside of there and find my center, which is stuck to my punch. And there we are. So it looks a little different with a yellow center. It looks a lot cheerier, doesn't it, and brighter. So that's why I thought if I was sending a sympathy card, this would be the one. If it's a thank you card or a birthday card, I kind of like the yellow center. The other thing that I added was a bit of the corrugated embossing folder to the front of this card. So that's gonna go here. Oh, I didn't trim it the right size. Woohoo! And the flower go on top. But you notice there's a little bit of background stamp in there, and that's from that stamp set called Very Versailles. Now, when you're stamping that, I inked up my my stamps today, so they're a lot juicier than they are sometimes. So I'm going to stamp it off, maybe twice even. We're going to see after I stamp it down, because I want the words to be quite pale in the background. So I'm going to stamp it off once, stamp it off twice, and now I'm going to stamp it on my card. And the other benefit of stamping it off first is you get to tell if your words are right side up or not. Okay, so we're finished with that. I'm going to do the same thing with the leaves. I'm going to ink them up. I'm going to stamp them off once, twice, because wow, they're pretty bright, aren't they? And now I'm going to stamp them again over top of the words. There we go. So that's done. Then I'm going to apply, let's see if this one's a little bit shorter. No, I didn't cut any of them shorter. Oh boy, a little job to do later. Okay, so this will go like that. And what else do I need? My trusty leaves. Here they are. So I tucked this little sprig up here for a little splash of darker color. And I didn't like how the stem looked down here, so that's why I positioned that to hide it. The words, for this one I decided something like a little note would go well in there. And you're gonna have to ignore the fact that things aren't glued down yet. Now remember we stamped it in cherry, but if you look, the Mambo Melon matches it quite nicely too. So for a birthday, you might want to, instead of mounting it on white the way I did, you might want to put it on a more colorful background. For a birthday, you could also put it on cherry, because of course that's what everything is stamped in. So there you have two options for how you're going to do this card. And it's very quick. I already had everything stamped and punched, and the hardest thing, or not the hardest thing, but the most time-consuming thing is just cutting out this flower, because there is not a punch for it. You have to cut it out, but it's very smooth lines, so it doesn't take but a moment. So there's our card. So club people, you will get all the bits and pieces to take your card this far. And then you can decide if you want to put it on white, or if you want to put it onto Mambo Melon or onto Cherry Cobbler. And you can also, I'll include a little note for you in your package, but you feel free to stamp something else on a piece of white strip and add it in there if you need a sympathy card. Or you can also, this won't be glued, so you can change it and leave it white and just add some dazzling diamonds. You can punch out another circle. So all of the supplies for this are in the catalog. Even this little punch, we don't use it often, but boy, when you need it, you can't cut a circle out. So this is a great punch for doing your flower centers. So there you go. You can look forward to getting all of your bits and pieces to make this card, along with some other ones, which I will be making a video of as well. So go out and make some snow angels today and have a great day. Talk to you later. Happy stamping.